If you've built an AI application that actually does something, you know the drill. You have almost certainly written this specific line of code, a while response.stop reason equals tool use loop, more times than you can count. The routine is exactly the same. You call the model, it asks to use a tool, you run that tool, stuff the result back into the prompt, and fire off another request, constantly guessing when the model is finally satisfied enough to stop asking. The very first time you write it, it feels like a rite of passage. You've built a system that thinks. But by the fifth time you're manually parsing these calls and threading the results back together, the magic fades. It stops feeling like a milestone and starts feeling like plumbing you keep having to reinvent. The Claude Agent SDK is designed to be the layer that deletes this repetitive coding tax. You hand it a prompt and a set of tools, and it takes over the looping mechanism completely. By absorbing the tool loop, the SDK shifts the focus from writing the logic of execution to defining the parameters of the system. You provide the configuration, the library handles the repetition. To see exactly what work this automates, let's look at this side-by-side system architecture diagram. On the left, we have the standard Anthropic client SDK. It gives you raw, direct access to the model, but when that model wants a tool, it stops right there, requiring you to build and maintain the execution loop yourself in that red box. Now look at the right side. With the Claude Agent SDK, that red executor box moves completely inside the library itself. You get the exact same model, but your pathway is now totally clean, requiring zero manual routing on your end. Because the loop runs itself, the SDK ships with out-of-the-box capabilities ready to go. Without any extra code, it handles reading files, executing bash commands, and editing code. Moving the executor inside the library means your agents can start doing real work immediately, without wiring up a single tool by hand. Zooming out for a second, it helps to map out the broader Claude ecosystem. Alongside the Agent SDK, there is also the Claude Code CLI. They both share the exact same underlying engine, just operating behind different interfaces. The mental model for choosing is simple. Ask yourself, is a human typing right now? If you're doing interactive, throwaway work at your terminal, reach for the CLI. If you are building automated, programmatic pipelines, you use the SDK. Moving into the setup phase, getting the SDK running is fast. Whether you use Python or TypeScript, installation requires just a single-line command for pip or npm. There is one hurdle to watch out for. If your first run throws an API error reading thinking.type.enabled, you are on an older version that doesn't support Opus 4.7. A quick package upgrade is the exact fix to clear it. You also need to authenticate correctly. Do not use a standard Claude.ai login. You must use an official Anthropic API key right from the start to ensure you have proper rate limits and production-ready authentication. Nailing this ecosystem map and setup protocol early on prevents the common friction points that derail developers on day one. For an AI, printing "Hello World" is less useful than a script that can read a real file, find a real bug, and fix it. Look at this code snippet showing the query function. You simply pair your user prompt with an array of allowed tools: read, edit, and bash. From there, you iterate. Each turn of the loop yields a raw message containing Claude's reasoning, a specific tool call, or a tool result coming back. Notice what you didn't do. You never parsed the tool call or scheduled the loop. Claude independently runs the tool, evaluates the result, and decides on its own when the bug is fixed and it's time to stop. Printing these raw messages shows exactly how the turn-by-turn logic works. You see every decision happen, turning a single request into a visible sequence of actions. That manual agent loop was a tax you paid to get to the interesting part of your work. The SDK pays that tax exactly once inside the library. This bug-fixing agent serves as the core of a much larger production-grade application. Every component we add in later lessons will be built directly onto this initial script. Look at this staircase chart for the roadmap ahead. From basic execution at the bottom, we scale upward, adding streaming data, complex permissions, sub-agents, full observability, and finally, a hardened production deployment. The design is intentional. Every upcoming step in this series adds a layer of complexity that the previous lesson made necessary. To follow along step by step and get the code for this entire 13-part series, subscribe to the Substack using the link in the description below. It is time to stop reinventing the plumbing.